Hi, it's me again, nobodies. Um, really odd for me to do. What if I, this will be like the fourth video I've posted today? Because one of them was Polly with his fidget. Um, I want to say, first off, that I did a magic trick today. I actually did two magic tricks today. The first one, I'm actually quite proud of. I managed to make scrambled eggs without setting off the fire alarm. Ah, yay me. Um, As you can tell, my cold medication is working. Even though I got like some kind of thing going on. The second trick I was able to perform was I was able to eat my eggs, and Polly didn't get any. He tried. Oh boy, did he try, because Polly fucking loves eggs. I mean, I was trying to talk on the phone because one of my friends called, my friend Alvin called me, and I was like sitting there in the chair trying to eat and hold the phone, and Polly was like above me in the chair, and like anytime I'd move the bowl, like I'd move it away, he'd jump right across me and try to eat the eggs. He really wanted those eggs. And Polly is not a timid cat, and I cannot. I can accidentally hit my cats, like they'll occasionally be somewhere and my hand will move and I'll bop their nose, but I will not kick at my cat or hit at I mean, I might swing my hand, kind of like, "Hey, I'm going to get you," and I might push them, but I don't want to actually hurt them. So, it's kind of like, oh, I mean, that's funny, because I'd whoop a baby, but not a baby, but like a toddler, but I won't whoop a cat. I won't bop their nose and say, no. I'll just push them and go, no, stop, Polly. So Polly kind of takes advantage of that. Um, but that's not the reason why I wanted to do a vlog. It was not about me successfully doing something that lots of people do all the time. Hey, to me, it's a big deal because I normally set off the fire alarm. And I made those eggs. I did not have a spatula, but I knew that going in. That I didn't have. I'm like, I've got a wooden spoon. I do not have a spatula. I got to buy one next time I'm at the store. Because I have tons of things. I've got nutcrackers. I don't eat nuts that have to be cracked, but I have nutcrackers, but no fucking spatula. Anyway, um, the thing that I wanted to talk about is very specific. Um, it mainly deals with my perception of. I was reading in one of my Facebook groups on INFJs. This guy was talking about my INFJ friend just went through this really bad breakup, and I'm trying to get her to open up to me and tell me what's going on, and she says she's okay. She's really good. She's fine. I feel like she should cry it out, and I'm here for her, and what do I need to do to be supportive? Now, I can't speak for every INFJ, but according to the literature, um, and according to my own understanding of my feelings and how I process things, um, we do seem to get over shit pretty quick. There's a lot of processing that goes on a continual basis about every fucking thing. I mean, every little detail of our lives we're processing. And these little things, like seriously, when somebody steps to me, if I want to say it like that, if they step to me, like they're rude, I will fucking freeze. I'm like, "What? Huh? I don't know what to do." I really don't. Like this chick, I asked her about her dog and she's like, "That's none of your fucking business." And I'm like, I couldn't even say I'm sorry. Like I could not say shit. I was just like paralyzed, like, what, what do I do? You know, because I didn't have time to process it as she was saying it, because I was like, this has to be processed, because like, um, the thing is, a sensor, a person who's like a ES or an IS, whatever, um, they're immediately going to feel something and they're going to act on that feeling of, how dare you, like, well, fucking excuse me, you know, I mean, they're going to have something to say. And granted, I'm pretty good at comebacks and giving somebody a cut direct, but in a situation like that, um, it does not suit me because the conflict is there and I don't engage in conflict. I can't. But anyway, we're always processing things. And, a person who identifies as INFJ, we're processing things. And a lot of our process is telling ourselves, like I've always said, like one of the ways that I get over a person is to list all the ways that they suck. I used to think this was a borderline personality thing, but no, apparently it's an INFJ thing. To, in my head, go, this is what I don't like them. The cons outweigh the pros, big time. Like, and literally at that point when you say, okay, this is done, it's over, um, the pros are not even thought about anymore. Like, I will not think about those because that invites pain. No, I have to hate that person for a little while. I have to hate them. I have to just be like mentally angry with them. But still I'm very, very hurt, and there are thoughts that will bring that hurt forth. So one of the things that does bother me is people constantly asking, are you okay? You don't seem okay. You can tell me if something's wrong, like they're pushing for something more than I'm good. I got it. I'm okay. Really, I'm okay. Because that's a part of ourselves until we're ready to speak of it, which is when it's fully processed. We don't want to talk about it. So we want everybody to think everything's okay. I am okay. Now, obviously, if one of us does like spin completely off the rails, people are going to notice. It's not a big thing. I mean, it's like most INFJs are not going to spin off the rails on that kind of thing. We will do some self-destructive behavior. There will be things that you'll see. But as far as, like going, well, I mean, we can go nuclear. We're kind of known for that. I should have thought about that before I said it. But no, the thing is if we're not automatically coming up with, like an in-depth of, everything's going fine, blah, 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 then just leave it. Because we're not at that point where we want to talk about it, or you're not the person that we want to talk about it to. And that's not I mean, it's a judgment against a person to say, hey, I don't want to talk about this with you. Like the Soma song, I'll betray myself to anyone but you. Anyone, yeah, something like that. So we it's not that we don't like you if we don't want to share certain things. It's if you've ever put judgment on the situation or made us feel like, hey, this particular thing you get very confrontational about. So I'm not going to talk to you about this because you get confrontational. That's not against you. That's not saying that you ain't a person that I rely on, that I'm there for, that I trust. Just not with this particular thing. Kind of like when girls talk about their periods and stuff. Most of the time, men don't want to be a part of that conversation. And women get the disgusted looks and so on and so forth. So if a person's not talking to you about something, you might say to yourself, well, maybe this particular thing is not something that I would be nurturing in discussing. This might be something that we can't have together. We can't share this, you know. So it's best not to push. And furthermore, when I say I'm good, I'm okay, sometimes I'm trying to hold it together. And to keep pushing me, it's not always therapeutic to cry it out, especially when you're trying to work it out in your brain, because you don't want someone else speaking for you, because you've already heard what they have to say. Or at least I have. Most of the time, I've heard what they've had to say. I've heard their opinions about certain things. So I know what they're going to say because I've heard it, or because I just know them that well. So pushing me to talk about it is to deny me a bit of my process. And it doesn't actually help me any to be pushed to say, hey, this is what's going on in my head. Like if I get mad, if I get like defensive, or I will get defensive, or I will attack myself. And because they're not helping the process. So it's important, even if you're not dealing with an INFJ, if you're dealing with anybody, to know what their process is. What's their process? And how supportive are you, like, if you know that they've lost their job? Well, if you've always talked shit about their job, they're not going to come to you about losing it. Now, if you're always bitching about their job and they've quit their job, yeah, you're the person who they're going to come to, because they are going to know that you're going to be supportive of them leaving. And if they're happy about that decision, then they know that you're going to be happy for them. You're going to be like, it's about damn time, and it's the same in relationships. If you're always bad mouthing somebody who you don't know, you can't really talk about, you can't be supportive in the process of, hey, I have to come to these conclusions myself. I can't take your word for it because you don't know this person. You only think you know. I don't know Johnny Depp. I wish I did, but I only know what I've seen in interviews and what he says and what he writes, and but I don't know Johnny Depp. I mean, I guess I know him better than Joe Smith in Pascagoula, Mississippi. I could say I know Johnny Depp better than him. Whoever he might be, there might be 10 of them, there might be one of them, there might be 100 of them. I don't know. I don't know that guy. I can't talk bad about him, but if I do know that guy and you don't, and you're talking bad about him, I really can't listen to your negativity. It messes with my process of, yeah, it's great. You're on my side. That's awesome. Be on my side. That's cool. But you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know this person. You never met them. You never spoke to them. You never, But that's the thing, sometimes it's not that you're not a supportive friend or that your opinion doesn't matter. It's that in some cases, people don't want to hear, I told you so. They don't want to hear, well, I never liked them. Unless they're in a good mood and they're like, hey, I just dumped this piece of shit, and you're like, well, I never liked him, you know, um, because that's what people are supposed to do. But when you're sitting there crying, that piece of shit dumped me, you know, you don't need them saying that, well, yeah, I've been telling you he's a piece of shit. I've been telling you can do so much better, blah, 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 blah. It does not help the process for me to be told all the things that I already know you feel about that person, because your friends don't keep that stuff to themselves for the most part. Your friends are going to be like, I don't like him. I don't like her. They're pretty quick to tell you, or in my case, you just kind of notice that they don't like him. They don't accept him into the pack. Oh well. So I just thought I would get on here and do that real quick. It's mainly for me. Like, hey, people, don't ask me if I'm okay, because I'm always going to say I'm good. The best you can offer for somebody who's going to say, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm fine, really, is to wait. If you see tears or you hear tears, just stand there. Let them know that they've got your shoulder to cry on. Give them a hug if you feel like that's appropriate, because we're not going to reach out for that, especially, introverted intuitives especially are not going to reach out for a hug when that might be all that they fucking need. That might help the process. Because I cannot speak those things. That's why the tears come out. The tears are like the shit that I can't say it. It comes out on the tears. Or something like that. That's crazy. I know, right? But don't push us to say you can't be okay. Yes, a person can be okay. Because I have gone through difficult things, and there are some difficult things that are processed really quickly. You see it really quick and you're like, yeah, that was a good deal. And everybody's like, you should be upset. Well, I ain't upset. Like, skin off my back. Sometimes they think you're supposed to be upset and you're not. And then they think, well, she's cold, she's indifferent, blah, blah, blah. No, I already processed it. And when I processed it, I said, well, that ain't worth getting upset about. It's... the stuff I get upset about is like the heart shit. There's certain things you feel, and I'm not good with like the feeling stuff. I don't like that. But other stuff, we can process it and just say, good deal. So anyway, that's my bit. I'm gonna go now. I think it's about that time for me to sleep. If I can breathe. Because I'm breathing right now, but like when my head hits the pillow, I know if my body's comfortable, I'll have a stuffed up nostril. So then I'll roll over, and then there'll be the exchange of which nostril is clogged, if not both. I fucking love colds. I'm going to try to sleep. And hopefully I will not wake up at various hours of the night hoping, like, is it daylight yet? Is it daylight yet? I just want a good sleep. It's been so long since I've had a good sleep, a good long sleep where I wasn't waking up and going, is it daylight yet? Is it daylight? I'm gonna go. Bye, y'all.